Most NBA teams are 2 games into the 2025-26 season, and I'm here to give my way too early takes for the 2025-26 season. We're going to get to all that and more right after this.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA Central.
What's going on, basketball fans? Welcome to another episode of NBA Central, your number one spot for everything basketball related. I'm the host there, Hayes, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at NBA Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today. Y'all, a quick one here, man. I just want to have some fun with this. Most NBA teams have played 2 games. There are still some teams that have only played 1 game. That's going to be rectified by the end of today. As a matter of fact, the only teams that have only played 1 game are the Bulls, the Hornets, and the Indiana Pacers, right? But I do want to have some way too early takes in regards to some of this stuff. And we're going to start off with the MVP race. Say what you will, and I know there are going to be people that, oh my God, but this is Laker bias, whatever. Luka Doncic is playing at an MVP level. Like, let's be clear, there are a number of crazy performances when you look at it already early into the season. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander being one of those guys as well. But as it stands right now, Luka is averaging 46 points on 62% shooting from the field, which is crazy, and 31% shooting from three-point range. He's also averaging 8.5 assists, 11.5 rebounds per game. Now, those numbers, take that away. It means nothing. But I think really what it comes down to is that Luka just looks very determined out there. This looks like a team that's like Lakers team. They're 1-1, that they're playing off Luka better. They had a big win last night as well with Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura having really efficient shooting on not that many shots because of the gravity that Luka Doncic was playing with. There's still some questions about DeAndre Ayton and LeBron James, but overall, I think when you look at Luka and himself with slimming down and things like that, this is a guy that looks like he's ready to put up some big numbers. And that added athleticism, a little bit of mobility that he's added with slimming down. Of course, there's always going to be a question on can he keep that up, and I think that's fair when it comes down to it. But Luka Doncic is absolutely balling out right now, and it's good to see him. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's averaging 45 points over 2 games as well. Aaron Gordon, of course, put up a 50-burger, but that's a different caliber, right? But, these are 2 guys that are definitely going to be in the MVP race. Jokic is going to be there, too, make no mistake about it. Anthony Edwards is probably going to be there. But Luka Doncic just, it looks really good. Now, I still have my questions about the Lakers' depth and the bench there. They're a very top-heavy team, so I have my questions overall there. But I think Luka is primed and ready to have a big season for that Los Angeles Lakers team, and we'll see what the future does hold there. Same thing as far as a way too early take, and I want to be clear there. These are all way too early takes. We'll revisit this later and see how I feel about some things. But the Spurs are going to be a playoff team if Wemby keeps playing like this. 2 games played by Wemby so far, and Wemby just looks like last season, at the start of last season, there were teams that were putting wings on Wemby, and it forced him out the paint. Wemby's not settling anymore. And while Wemby is still developing a bag as a player, you just got to look at what he's doing. He's averaging 34 points over the first 2 games, but it's the way that he's getting it done. Now, foul trouble has been a thing for him. You got to get that together also. But this Spurs team looks really good. And, and they fit together. And, there are some questions about the fit there of the team. They haven't had De'Aaron Fox yet, which, is probably going to take them to yet another level. But Wemby looks ready to go. He's averaging 6 blocks a game. Let's just put that in perspective. He's averaging 6 blocks a game. Wemby is absolutely killing it. He almost had a triple-double with blocks being the thing that he missed out on. 9 blocks in a game. Wemby is definitely going to be the Defensive Player of the Year. I think he's most odds-on favorite to do that. But outside of the individual success, I really think that this Spurs team can be a playoff team this year if Wemby can just stay healthy. And that's one of the biggest questions that are going to be here is that can he stay healthy? And that's what we'll see. Flipping it to go back west, or to stay out west, I should say. I just want to spend some time talking about this real quick, right? The Golden State Warriors are one of the few teams that have played 3 games so far this season, and Steph is averaging 33 points. But I think more importantly, and I said this over on Locked On NBA, I hope that people understand that what Steph is doing at this age is just as special. People a lot talk about what LeBron does at his age, and that's special. I want to be clear. What he's doing at his age is special. But I think Steph is still closer to who prime Steph was than what LeBron is to prime LeBron James. Now, prime LeBron James is one of the greatest to ever do it, right? Don't let the fact that I'm a Bulls fan make you think that I can't acknowledge the greatness of LeBron. I'm a Bulls fan, but I'm a basketball fan also, right? But what Steph is doing is so still elite. And it's still like still hitting those shots falling out of bounds, still hitting the crazy, shots that he just takes that are far back that he just casually takes and makes, right? All those things are still there for Steph, but Steph is a very special player. And we'll see how this Warriors team ends up shaking out and what happens this season. I have my questions about them more so in the playoffs, but they're 2-1 to start the season off. Steph has had a great performance so far. The fit with him, Jimmy, and Dre still looks really good. Even Jonathan Kuminga has looked pretty solid for them two being in the starting lineup. We'll see what happens. I know that they're probably featuring Kuminga to try to move him, but I think those things are really looking good for him. For the team as well. And if that continues, it's going to be a big season for Steph and for the Golden State Warriors. But listen, they look legit, and it's going to be real. My next take, you guys know, if you've been watching this for a while, I am somebody who is really high on the Houston Rockets. I love what the Houston Rockets did with adding Kevin Durant. I think he's so good for what exactly they need on that team. But the ball handling has always been a problem. And the ball handling has always been something that has been a question, for them since Van Vliet went down. And I think that that's still going to be a problem. I think that this is going to be a good Rockets team. But I think without them having an actual point guard, and that's no knock on Amin Thompson, who's been starting at the one, Amin's going to have a great year. I have no doubt about Amin Thompson and how he's going to excel. And it seems like a lot of those young players playing off Kevin Durant are looking really good so far. But the Rockets haven't won a single game yet. And I'm not blaming it just on the point guard situation or anything like that. But I do think that they are going to, and I know they reportedly they're going to give it till December or January when a lot of players become eligible to be moved and stuff like that before they make a decision on which way they want to go. But I think, they're going to need a point guard. And I just don't see Reed Shepherd, Amin Thompson, and these guys giving enough of the playmaking that's needed to get to have the type of passing that they need. And they also need a leader. I don't know if they're going to be able to find that guy in the same place, but they need some of that. And so I do think the ball handling is going to be a bit of a struggle for that Houston Rockets team. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, it's just growing pains right now and they'll eventually figure it out. That could definitely be a thing there as well. But they're going to have to get that together if they really want to be one of the better teams in the league and really try to go to a title, which is something that they're hoping they're going to be able to get to. So we shall see. The Houston Rockets are one of the teams that have turned the ball over the most, averaging 17.5 turnovers per game through 2 games so far. I don't know how much that's going to continue, but it is something to monitor. It is something to look out for, and I do think that with the Houston Rockets. And then my next two is that I think some of us, and I say us because I've done it too, may have underestimated the Milwaukee Bucks and the Philadelphia 76ers. The 76ers through one game look really good. Now, the balance that they have there, Edgecombe had an amazing first game there. Tyrese Maxey is ready to step in as a leader for them, and I trust them more than Milwaukee Bucks. I've been saying for a long time, the 76ers need to be a team that builds a team that's good enough, even when Embiid's not playing to compete. And then when Embiid's there, it's icing on top. I don't think anybody's going to take Embiid back in a trade. I don't think the 76ers are looking to move them, but you still got to improve your teams to a certain spot. And the Philadelphia 76ers could be really good this year. They're one of the teams that I do think can disrupt the East. I can see them winning 45 games. I can see them winning 32 games. It just really depends on health and how good, like, that wings, all the wings and guards and kind of overlapping skill sets that they have there. Getting McCain back could be really big for them. But Tyrese Maxey looks like he's stepping into that leadership role, and he's really ready to go. And if he is, that could propel the 76ers team to be even better than many people are expecting or giving them credit for. And the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, I want to say this clearly with the Bucks. They have not faced off against the best competition as of yet, right? But the theory has always been you surround Giannis with shooting, and you have a solid big in there, and Giannis can get you pretty far in the Eastern Conference. And so far, they've had that, right? And it's been really fun to see. But like I said, they haven't necessarily had the best, competition yet. Miles Turner has not looked good there at all as far as the numbers-wise. He's shooting the ball 30% right now. So that could either, depending on how you look at that, it could be a concern or it could be something to say like, hey, once Miles finds his way, this team could take off even more. Now, the schedule is about to get a lot harder for them. So they face off against the Wizards and the Raptors so far. The Wizards are probably going to win 25 games this season. The Raptors, I don't know how to feel on that team quite yet. I'm not really a Raptors believer, but I'm not a doubter on them all the way either. I'm kind of just in a spot with them where I'm just like, let's wait and see. But coming up over the next week for them, they got Cleveland, New York, Golden State, Sacramento, Indiana. That's what they have. That's going to be a really big test for that Milwaukee Bucks team to see how good can they really be this season. And yeah, I'm excited to see what they're going to be there. But that's just some of my hot takes. From the opening of the season, Sunday, me and JB will get together. We'll do a full-fledged episode on exactly what that looks like for this team and get kind of more into the details with more data. But in that time, I want to hear from you guys. What are some of your topics and takes so far through the early part of the season? It could be as wild as you want it to be. We'll read it on the next episode. But thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys are following us at NBA Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, NBA Central Show at gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything basketball related. And that's thanks to you guys. And like I like to end everything else on, I'll see you guys the next time I feel like making a video. Probably tomorrow. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.